one of you.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
This is my home. They're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of here.
Good time, everybody, whether it's morning, evening, or anywhere in between. Welcome to unRekt Traders. In the Discord, I posted that there's a possibility that we go to 62,000. I was asked how I came up with that, so I'm going to answer that in this video. I'm also going to do a quick analysis on Bitcoin itself using the machine. So as of right now, if we look at the big picture on the monthly, we are sitting more or less on a support and resistive level at that 58,000 level. Now, price does want to come down to the possible target on the 20 white. We can see that the 20 white came into the range on the quasi here. Once it came into the range, we had the mean reversion in effect. So price does want to come down to here. Now the 100 is still well above that plus 100. So we have pretty strong support sitting at 46,800. And we could see price, I don't think it'll happen, but we could see price trying to break up into this resistive level before coming back down into the possible target on the 20 or even the aqua. Now I'm not going to call the aqua as a true possible target just because it's sitting pretty much right at that 100 level. So it's trying to break in, but this is acting as, like I said earlier, support and resistance. So we'll come into the weekly. Now on the weekly, things change a little bit. And on the weekly, we have the 20 and the 10 starting to move up into that range. So we have that mean reversion coming up into this possible target area of that 62,700. So that'd be kind of where price wants to go. Now we do have the 100 acting as resistance. So we do have the resistive properties on the 200 here. Now this is kind of the first time we've entered into this 200 for the most part. So when price enters in, we hit the 50 bouncing off. It'll likely break free from this resistance because it likes to do that for the first time. Coming up into the resistance here at 61.3, and then we'll see if we can get a wick kind of coming up and tagging the 20 white here. Or we actually do break above the 20, start kind of showing a little bit of bullishness and break up back up to that 68. Now, will that happen? It's questionable, but price does kind of want to move up into that 62,000 area. On the 3-day itself, we're kind of looking at the same thing. And 3-day shows a nice picture because we have the 200 mean reversion on the purple here, bringing price down to that 42,000 level. Very strong support on the 3.2 white, on the 20 white, which is 48,000. But we can also see that the 20 and the 10 have popped back up into the range. 50 is just acting as a little bit of support and resistance right now. But the probability of us coming up into that 20, if not even up to the 50 here, for that 62,900, and then hitting the 200 resistance, and then we'll probably likely run out of steam. And the reason why I say that is because if we look back here, we came into that 200 for the first time. We bounced out like it likes to do, created a nice imbalanced candle here, but couldn't break the last high here, and then fell back down, filling in the liquidity or the imbalanced candle, the liquidity at this level. And then now we're just kind of range bound for the most part between 54,600 and then of course the 64,300. So coming up into, I do think price will try to make its way up into here to this resistive level, maybe to the 20 resistance at 65.6. That's kind of pushing it because I would really like it to remain within that 200. Now this 200 is expanding, so price could kind of ride that 200 for a little bit up to like 65,000 and then make its way down to the 200. But I do think it'll kind of bump its head here and then roll over and then take out liquidity at these levels and try to make its way to the 42,800. We come into the daily. So daily itself, price is pushing up. We have the resistance on the 200 here where the 20 is at 58,400. So we are kind of bumping our head on this 200 until this 200 moves up into that above the minus 100 range here on the quasi. Once it does so, then it can try and push up and make its way to that 64,000 range. Now we do have a lot of targets above us because all of these have just come in. So we're kind of looking at price trying to make its way up to here. The 10 green is kind of has the ability to go a little bit further up, but I do think it's going to bump its head at this 200, maybe get to the 50 aqua here, and then kind of do a little reset, and then try to push up higher to that 62,000, if not even 64,000, and then we'll see what happens from there. We do have some you know, we do technically have some really nice imbalanced candles, which will attract price. So we do have this little range here that'll attract price. We have the 100 in that range as well. And if we just go for that midpoint of that range, we're looking at 62,500. So that's kind of where I was coming up with the idea that, you know, the strong possibility of coming up to that 62,000 range is pretty good. And if I really wanted to, I could kind of bring this up to this wick on this candle and bring it back a little bit down here. And we do technically have a double imbalance. So, you know, it's a high gravity area for price to come back to. And if I come into the 4 hour now, so in the 4 hour, you know, we have hit the 100 target that we've been looking for basically since September 9th, sorry. So we kind of came into the 200 and tried to get back out, got rejected with the wick off the 50 for the most part, and now we're making our way up into that 59,000 range. Now we will bump our heads at the 3.2 here unless it does an amazing push upwards. So we kind of run, the 100 will also act as a pretty strong resistance, to be honest, as well, because it's a high moving average, and that is kind of where we're hitting our head. But price ultimately does want to come to that 59, if not 59.6. Now the 50 itself is a little bit high, so we could see price trying to get above that 100, maybe breaking free of it, but I do think there will be one more little pullback before we try to push that higher amount to this, eventually getting up into that 62,000 range. All right, so that's kind of what I was looking at. Hopefully that helps you guys on seeing what I was seeing, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe. It helps the channel, helps me grow and get my word out there. Thank you very much, and God bless.